Good morning and welcome to our daily study of Shearim B Tefilla, sponsored by Doreen and Marshall Lerner, in memory of Marshall's mother, Alma Lerner, Asna Bat Moshe. We are discussing the language of prayer of tzedakah, of crying out to God without words. I'd like to share with you two beautiful selections, one from Shearim B Tefilla, the Sefer that we're studying, and one from Rabbi Soloveitchik, who applies this to the idea, to the mitzvah of shofar blowing. So let's start with the Shearim B Tefilla in his explanation of what this wordless prayer is all about. Uve'emet ikar matzav zeh shachiach ma'od she'adam bimar nafsho eino yachol liftoach piv b'tefillah. He says it happens that we're so sad, we're so bitter, life has really thrown us for a loop that we can't even open our mouths and offer prayer. Sometimes that's because we're brokenhearted. And now he says something so profound. Sometimes we just feel distant from God. And he says we feel distant from God and therefore not worthy of approaching him. But I would add that sometimes we feel distant from God and we feel we can't approach him. We're too frustrated, maybe angry. And so we can't express words. Ubenkach mafsik litpalel. And whether it's because we're so bitter or we feel that we can't approach God, we just don't pray. And then he gives an example of a person who is searching for a hidden treasure, and then he gets to the hardened earth where the treasure is. But because the earth is a little hard, he leaves that area and goes to dig somewhere else. And that's a mistake. The person has found the treasure, but out of frustration or sadness, stops seeking it out, stops hunting for it. And says Rav Pinkus, that's what tzedakah is. It's that primal scream of frustration or distress or sadness when we can't or won't approach God formally. We cry out. And sometimes it seems that we don't even realize that we're crying out to God, but we might be. And Rabbi Soloveitchik extends this idea to the shofar. He says, what's the point of the shofar that we sound on Rosh Hashanah? He says the shofar is exactly this. After we've said so many tefillot, malchiot, zichronot, shofrot, we've been saying slichot, so many words, so many carefully arranged expressions of our hopes and our contrition, there comes a point where I just can't say anything anymore. And all I'm left with is the sound of the shofar. And here are Rabbi Soloveitchik's beautiful words. He says, "V'chimahu kol shofar, im lo za'akat adam lelo diburim v'lelo milim." What is the shofar if not for a person's cry without thoughts, or really without words, without speaking, not without thoughts, without speaking and without words? Zo za'akato hamitparetzat atzimponatnit shel balei chayim shero'ui b'yisurim. Says this is like an animal who spontaneously calls out. But tfilat za'akazo, so he used that word za'akat, tza'aka, lo hamilim v'hadiburim b'ha'ikar. The words of the prayer are not what's essential. Ela kolot hagenicha shel hashofar haba'im u'mitpartzim behechrech acher hatfilot shebe'imrei pfinu. What's important is the crying out that comes after the words that we have spoken with our mouth. And the reason, says Rabbi Soloveitchik, is after we've prayed, we begin to realize that our words were unable to express even a part of what we want to say. Mirubim tzarchei amcha v'datam kitzara, which we say in the Ilah, the needs of your nation are many. V'datam kitzara, and our patience or our ability to contend with our tzarot, with our problems, is little. Im siyuma shel hatfilah ba'adam l'chlal maskana shekima'at v'lo hitpalel. After praying, we come to the realization that we have barely prayed. And that's what za'akah is. It's that wordless prayer when words can no longer do what we feel we need them to do, either because we feel our prayer is not working, we feel distant from God, we don't feel worthy of God. The beautiful part of this is even if words fail us, there's still something else. And that something else is za'akah, tza'akah, that wordless but deep, deep cry out to God. Have a wonderful day, everybody.